All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. All right, being broke is not an option going forward. Being broke is not an option going forward. I think if you're broke, it affects you in these three key areas. And I think these three key areas are important to your happiness and to your success. So we got to make sure we're not broke so these three areas don't get affected. So let's get right into the list. The first area that's affected when you're broke is your health. Now, people don't take this into consideration, but this is the first area that kind of takes a hit. The first example I could think of is the gym. How many people do you know that say, okay, well, I can save money on that $25, that $30, that whatever $50 gym membership that you have, and I could get rid of that, and that could go to gas or that can go to food, right? If you're struggling to make rent payments, if you're struggling to meet your car payments, one of the first thing that goes, specifically people that live in America, since it's the most obese country, right, is your gym membership. A lot of people cut their gym membership off every 3 to 6 months because, one, they're inconsistent, but two, they also think about it from a financial perspective. And they say, okay, I could save this money here and this could go to something else. So that way I don't have to struggle in another area. So yeah, that gym membership is critical. I think everybody should be going to the gym. And I also noticed when you get a gym membership, you tend to go to the gym more opposed to like a home gym. A home gym is it's so convenient that you just don't end up doing it. So I think most people should have a gym membership just because of the discipline aspect. But again, if you're broke, you're going to be thinking about this money coming out each and every month, and you shouldn't be doing that. All right. Another area in that health space is health insurance, dental insurance. How many people opt to not to have health insurance because it's just too much money, right? Like if it's too much money if you're paying $200 to $300 for medical insurance, some people may opt to just not have medical insurance or dental insurance. I know a lot of people that don't get their 2 cleanings a year, right? And this thing is lagging again. Why is this thing lagging? But yeah, I know a lot of people that opt to not get the medical treatment that they need because they don't have the money. They're saying, okay, well, this $200 to $300 that I'm paying for medical insurance can go to the car payment or the rent payment. So, and then what happens is your health takes a decline. You end up developing something that you could have taken care of, that you could have prevented a long time ago. That root canal that you got, or whatever the case may be, now you have a bunch of cavities. And it's because you opted not to get quality insurance. And some of you do have insurance, you just have a huge deductible, right? That you don't want to meet, that you don't want to come out of pocket for. So, health insurance I see being a lot, especially for people that have their own business and things like that, or maybe I wouldn't even say their business. I don't consider a lot of stuff business. Some people just create a job for themselves, and I don't really consider it a business. But a lot of those people don't have good health insurance. So if you're broke, this is going to be affected. Also, another area in that health space is the food. If you're broke, you're not going to be able to afford good quality food. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you can eat for cheap, or you can eat healthy for cheap." That's not the case, right? Even the crappy food costs a lot of money today. So most likely you're going to end up buying crappy food, crappy quality food. Even the fast food is quick, right? Quick and cheap. So some people opt to just eat fast food all the time because they can't afford it, because they're broke, because they're barely just getting by. So, your food selection is going to take a hit. You're going to opt to get a cheaper brand or a cheaper quality food because you're worried about this money going somewhere else, right? So health is one of the main areas that takes a hit if you're broke. And again, that gym membership, that health insurance, and your food are probably one of the things that I come to mind when I think about that. All right, so the second thing is relationships, right? And I can only speak from the guy perspective, but you probably won't be able to take your girl out and have experiences, right? or whatever. Your social life takes a hit. You just those experiences that you would be able to go on take a hit when you are broke. If you don't have money, you're not able to experience new things. You're not able to see new cities, try out new foods, new places, and things like that. So you're not able to go out more. And I'm not saying you should be going out all the time, but if you want to, if you wanted that option, it's not there for you when you're broke because you're always thinking about how you're going to pay that rent, the car payment, those necessities. You're always focused on the necessities, and your social life tends to take a hit. If you're not able to get in certain rooms, and again, this doesn't have to be physical. This could be digital too. You could build a social network online. But if you don't have money to pay for that course or get into that group chat, then that's going to suffer. That's an opportunity that you're passing up. And your relationships, your social life will take an effect when you're broke. Everybody's like, oh, how do I make money on this? How do I do that? Well, you build your network out. And it's going to be hard to build that network out if you don't have sufficient money coming in so you could participate in those activities. So yeah, that's number two. Relationships in your social life will take a hit if you're broke. All right, number three is your career. Your career is going to take a hit if you're broke. Right? Now, this doesn't necessarily need to mean that you need to start making money off the bat. But if you're a person that just doesn't manage your expenses correctly, like you don't need to be making the most money, but you could manage your expenses correctly, you could budget correctly, and to allow you to progress your career, right? But if you're struggling, if you don't know how to manage your expenses, you're not going to take the risk of buying a $300-400 course, or again, just paying for something that's going to bump up your career, to boost your career, right? You're not going to take that business venture, indulge in that business venture, or take that risk when it comes to an asset, whether it's stocks or crypto or real estate. You're not more inclined to take risk. And the only way your career is going to improve is if you take risk. But I find that a lot of broke people don't like to take risks, right? And it's because they're just so worried about the necessities. They're worried about, again, your housing, your food, and just how you're going to make it on a day-to-day basis. When you're focused on a day-to-day, when you focus on those things on a day-to-day, it's really depressing. You have anxiety and things like that. So the last thing you're thinking about is progressing your career. So it's kind of like it's this never-ending circle of poverty, and you just stay in the same position for a while because you don't want to take risk, right? You're just scared and things like that. So yeah. Also, those are the three things, but also not being in the know is kind of the result not being in the know makes people broke, right? Typically if you're broke, you're not thinking about these crypto opportunities that we're seeing right now. Right now, we're about to be in the biggest crypto bull market, in my opinion. But we also seen opportunities in stocks. It just doesn't have to be about crypto. I mean, we've seen Nvidia, we've seen Palantir, we've seen Airbnb, we've seen Coinbase. We've seen a lot of these stocks 5 to 10x. And again, if you're not in the know, you won't be taking advantage of those opportunities. And a lot of the times it's the broke people that are not in the know, right? Okay, so let's just go over them again. The first area that's affected when you're broke is your health. Again, things like your gym membership, you try to compromise because you're like, oh, I could use that money for something else. 2, your medical insurance, you skimp out on that. 3, the foods you eat. Again, we're in an inflationary environment where everything is just going up in price, and things are costing money. So if you don't have the money, I'm sorry to say, it's hard to be broke and afford good quality food. 2, your relationships, your social life is going to suffer. You're not going to be able to experience new experiences, and it's just going to hurt you, right? You're going to be like, oh, well, I don't need to go to that event, or I don't need to do that because then I could save this money. And then you end up, losing out on opportunities. And 3, your career. It's hard to take risk when you're broke. So again, doesn't necessarily need to mean you need to have so much money, but from a managing your budget perspective, if you don't manage that correctly and you're broke, you're not more inclined to take risks because you're like, oh, if I take this, I'm not going to have the money for this, and then so on and so forth. You keep calculating everything. But yeah, that's why being broke is not an option. Going forward in 2025 and the years to come, I just think being broke is just not a thing. Everything is going up in price. You can't afford to be broke. So make sure you change that. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.